Now, I've received a note from a teacher. Hi, Ben, I'm a teacher at a school in the Parramatta Diocese. I just wanted to share a correspondence all-staff email from a few weeks ago. It's caused a few of us to cement a no vote for the referendum. It reinforces for me, at least, that the Voice will possibly introduce discrimination based on identity. I've attached an email that was sent to all staff recently that has caused some anger amongst staff here. Some of us feel that there is a clear discrimination here based on our racial identity. Some teachers, including myself, feel that to have a policy where some staff are entitled to additional paid leave, which I'm not entitled to, is unfair and completely discriminatory. So I'm just reading from the policy. This is from the Parramatta Diocese. Dear colleagues, Catholic Schools Parramatta Diocese is committed to supporting the National Reconciliation Movement. I'm pleased to announce that we will be providing support to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff by providing paid cultural and ceremonial leave. This leave is provided to support staff with their individual and collective cultural and ceremonial responsibilities, such as ceremonial obligations, significant dates and cultural events, and things connected with the death of a member of the immediate family or extended family, provided in addition to compassionate leave. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff will receive up to 3 days paid cultural and ceremonial leave each 12 months. Such leave will not accrue from year to year and is not paid out on termination. Cultural and ceremonial leave is provided in addition to compassionate or bereavement leave. Good morning to you, James.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
I'm well.
That's great. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not a racist person by any stretch, but this voice, I'm sorry to say this, is the biggest load of absolute rubbish I've ever heard in my life. This government that we got in power now, this Labor government, have got zero common sense. They're all an absolute pack of clowns, if you want me to be straight up honest with you. And the biggest clown is that Albanese. I am an Aboriginal person, right? I don't believe anyone should be treated differently under any stretch. Everyone is the same. So how in the hell can this voice thing, I'm so infuriated, I'm sick and tired of hearing it, but I don't understand how concessions can be given to the Aboriginal people. We're all working for a living. We're all providing for our families. And to be quite frank, this government, quite frankly, needs to take their heads out of their butts and think a bit further than what they do. Common sense, they don't have it, mate.
So, James, let me ask you this. As an Aboriginal person, do you want an extra 3 days leave per year for cultural and ceremonial leave?
No, because I'm no different to anybody else. I mean, that's not fair. And that school that's turned around and put that email out, how stupid are they? They've just made themselves look like absolute racist. Oh, I can't even. I'm so infuriated.
No, that's okay. We're hearing you loud and clear, James. Thank you very much. I've got a call here from another Indigenous person, possibly with a different point of view to James. Hello, John.
Yeah, good morning.
What do you think, John?
Well, before I start, I just want to do an acknowledgement. That first acknowledgement is Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture is a legacy for all Australians. It's an integral part of our identity, and it's something that is age-old. And
no doubt about it.
It's an important thing, especially for young people to learn about. It's a part of our identity as Australians.
No doubt about it. What do you think of the special leave? Are there circumstances, and this is why I call Warren Mundine, because I know that in different cultures, people react differently when someone passes away. And I know that is a case in different religious groups. I'm guessing in different groups across Australia as well. So in Indigenous communities, do you need extra time off, for example, when someone passes away?
Well, see, every culture in the community has different ways of grieving. With Aboriginal culture, there's many times when we need to take leave out of our 9-to-5 jobs because we have obligations to family, and everyone has obligations to family when people pass on. So, that leave is meant for those people. But what is different about Aboriginal culture is that with regards to our obligations, and I'm not talking about the Aboriginal person that walks down the street that has no connection to traditional culture. I'm talking about the group that has the knowledge and connection to age-old cultures that need to continue on that link from one generation to the next. So this type of leave isn't necessarily applicable to everyone. It's for those specific knowledge holders and those specific people that have key roles in keeping the culture alive. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Australia has got the highest loss of language in the world, and it also aligns with the highest loss of species in the world. So our culture and our land has had a massive impact since we've had, since 1788 to the present. There's been massive changes. Now, if we want to keep that culture alive and we want to share that to the young people of Australia, then there's elders in our community that work in 9-to-5 jobs that try to live like everybody else in our community that need time to be able to maintain that oral history and that oral culture with ceremony.
So therefore, John, you support the idea from the Parramatta Diocese that you would give Indigenous staff members an extra 3 days off a year for ceremonial obligations, significant dates and cultural events, and things connected with the death of a family member, provided in addition to compassionate leave. You think that that's necessary?
On the assessment of what it's needed for.
Sure.
Because we've lost so much cultures. My mum's stolen generation, all right? And our family lost a lot of culture because of the mistakes of the past where people thought they were doing the right thing.
Sure.
And the voice is another example of history repeating itself. So my disclaimer is I am voting no for the voice because it might be meant to be supporting Aboriginal culture, but the way that the government has always done business with that colonial psyche, which affects every Australian, is vote yes because government knows best. And it doesn't work like that because every Australian, black, white or brindle, deserves to be taken on the journey, and we are worthy citizens of this country that should be included and have ownership of this process, and that is not what is happening. So government doesn't give that time, but the diocese of the Catholic Diocese of Parramatta, credit to them, they understand the impacts that the Catholic Church have had on Aboriginal culture in the past, and they're trying to give those specific people in their diocese through that assessment of whether they need that time. And credit to them that they're going to give those people that need it, not all of them, but those people that need it, the time to go out on country, to do the ceremonies, to keep the language alive for the next generation, for those young people, black, white and brindle, all those young Australians. And that's what
You come at the issue with an interesting point of view, John, and I'm glad you called in. You have a good weekend.
You have a lovely day, and all your listeners have a lovely day too.
Good on you, mate. Thank you very much. Nice bloke with a point of view on what's happened there in the Parramatta Diocese.